We have thousands of people who go missing every year, just here in the United States, and there's no discrimination on the missing. They are young, old, black, white, male or female, even children. It's time to stop. Here at Coles is still missing, and they've not found any new clues. It's women who are pregnant, it's women who have jobs, and it's women who have not seen even fetal abductions. Have you seen me? Welcome to my channel, everyone. Thank you so much for caring.
Hello guys, welcome to Chasing a Murder Talking News. My name's Debbie. Please take a moment to subscribe, hit the like button, hit the notification bell if you'd like notifications whenever we have new uploads. So for those of you that are regulars here, you know I've been kind of down and it's been stressful, guys. But I stay optimistic, and this channel really helps me out, believe it or not. It gives me something to do and keep my mind busy. Then I have Leela, the new puppy. She's quite a handful and she's quite bossy, so it's difficult to sometimes record with her being so bossy. And let me tell you guys, she is the cutest thing in the world. But potty training is not going too well. I don't want to give up on her though. I love her too much. So any ideas, guys, please share them in comments. So I wanted to share something a little bit lighthearted, because we're always sharing really bad news. And I haven't been able to really look up if there's any new missing faces lately. And today I kind of glanced at it and I come across this strange story. And I thought, well, maybe you guys would find this entertaining. Now, we're all familiar with the Amber Alert system. Occasionally, we all have our phones buzz with this loud, annoying sound that is there to alert us that there's a child missing in our area. And we take a look, there's a little bit of information, and they're hoping that one of us have seen something that can help them figure out where that missing person is. This is something that's taken very seriously. And they do tests on this system. But unfortunately, they did a test lately that kind of drew a lot of attention. The kind of attention you don't want. So this happened in Texas. So the Texas Department of Public Safety accidentally sent out an Amber Alert. It was named Chucky. And it's Chucky the doll from the American Horror franchise, Child's Play. And on top of that, the abductee was his fictional son, Glenn. Could you imagine hearing this alert go off, you click it, and seeing that information? Now, of course, this was a test, and I'm sure they were bored and probably just trying to have some fun amongst themselves, trying to lighten the situation, because knowing, I work in this area and it's stressful. It's very hard dealing with seeing so many of these stories come across every single day. So these alerts were sent out as a test that malfunctioned and was never meant to get out to the public. And according to a few news articles, it happened about 3 times. So here it is. Chucky is identified as a 28-year-old male with red hair, standing 3 foot 1 inches. A little less than a meter tall, and his race is listed as other. Doll. It says that it's approximately 16 pounds, roughly 7 kilo. The suspect further described as wearing blue denim overalls with a multicolored striped long sleeve shirt and wielding a huge kitchen knife. So, oh my gosh, that would be like the biggest nightmare ever. I hope they didn't lose their job. But they need to be more careful with their testing, of course. But, accidents happen. But kind of found that entertaining. I've never seen that before. Hey, it's more publicity for the missing and the missing alert system. So, hey, everything isn't bad. I just know that I would have loved to seen people's faces whenever they got that message. I don't know about you guys, but whenever I get an Amber Alert, it doesn't really link to any pictures or anything. It's just a basic message. And if you click it, you really go nowhere. I meant to let them know about that because I'm in Florida. I'm not certain if they know that their alert system's really not that great. You just get the basic information. They're in this car, this, if they have a tag number, and how tall they are and their age. So I was surprised to see this picture of Chucky. What about you guys? When you get your alert, what do you get? You know, do you get a link to go to or what? I'm sure each state is different. Anyways, guys, I wanted to share that quickly with those of you out there probably thinking, could anything get any stranger? Well, it can. Of course, what is it called? The Texas DPS. Anyways, they had to issue an apology after sending this alert out. Hopefully nobody goes too hard on them. So, yeah. All right, guys. But we do have girls that are still missing. So I kind of want to cover that real quick. Aisha Degree. Aisha Degree has been missing for over 20 years now. They believe that Aisha was actually attempting to run away from home, and they kind of followed her tracks. And I want to do a detailed story on this, but those tracks really led nowhere. All they found was a book bag at a construction site, but they really have no clues as to what happened to her. It's a very sad case. She is from North Carolina, and they believe that they last seen her walking on Highway 18. They believe that she went missing on the early morning hours of February 14th of 2000. Now, what I found interesting is a witness says that they see her walking down the road alone. And he actually passes her and then turns around, comes back to check on her, and she's walking into a wooded area. And she just vanishes into thin air. I have been working on this 9-year-old that disappeared in 2000. I've been working on her story, but sadly haven't been able to get it finished, especially since I've been working on this Lori Vallow series. That's a lot of work, but I am researching her along with many other girls. I have tons of stories. I just haven't had time to get out there. And I'm really hoping that her parents find out something about what happened to their daughter. Suzanne Morphew. Suzanne was reported missing on Mother's Day. She's 49 years old, and she's living in Maysville, Colorado. According to the information they have at this time, they believe that she went missing in the area of County Road 225, West Highway 50, west of Maysville. Her husband was away on work, about 150 miles away in Denver, when he gets a call with concerns about his wife. Suzanne's husband, Barry, returns back home, and they call the police. The police are searching for her, and they actually recover her bike just a little ways away from their home. There's a lot more to the story, and you can check out older videos that I have, or the new one whenever I get a chance to upload that. There's rumors and speculation that her husband might have been involved, and this is because at the hotel that he was staying in while on Mother's Day, after he leaves, one of his workers come into the room and they notice a very strong chlorine smell in that room. But they said there's no explanation as to why there's so much chlorine in the towels. And in that room. He hadn't gone swimming in the pool, so it didn't make sense. Also, Suzanne Morphew's brother was really pushing search groups. He was trying his best to search the area near where Suzanne went missing, but never come up with anything. What's interesting is the fact that Barry, the husband of Suzanne, never ever really searched with Suzanne's brother. At one point, he just breaks contact off with him altogether. So we are still looking for anything, any tips, anything anyone might have, they might know on Suzanne Morphew from Colorado. Donita Wilkerson. She's age 44. She's a black woman, curly hair, brown eyes, and approximately 5'3" and 140 pounds. 145 pounds. Donita went missing on June 21st of 2020, and her family fears that she is in danger. When she left her house, she said she would be right back. But that isn't the case. They have not heard or seen from Donita since that day. So this too was near a holiday. This was near Father's Day that she goes missing. And this story is coming out of Evansville, Indiana. If anyone has any information about Donita, please contact Crime Stoppers or authorities. You can always report anonymously, guys. Jasmine Robinson. The story is coming out of Archer, Florida. So Jasmine was approximately 7 months pregnant when she just disappears. According to relatives, Jasmine is known by Breezy. That's her nickname. That nickname was given to her while she was playing basketball at Williston Middle High School. Shantavia Robinson, which is Breezy's sister, says she last heard from her sister on February 18th of 2019. She says that she was 7 months pregnant at the time with her very first child. She was going to have a girl, and she planned to name the child Jamelia. Family members say she's the kind of girl that would have you constantly laughing. She is a loving person. Jasmine was about to turn 24 years old, but no one has seen her since she went to bed in her home that night. Now, a lot of people are focusing on the father of the child, of course, and Jasmine had told her sister that the father of the baby had been contacting her constantly, first through the phone messages, then calling her workplace. The family believes that this man might be angry because Jasmine was going to have this child, and they're hoping that Breezy is still alive and well, and that she'll return home despite not hearing from them over a year now. Again, I want to encourage anybody that might know Breezy or what might have happened to her to contact somebody anonymously. Sorry, guys. You don't have to put your name. You can arrange a way to get information to authorities without having to use your name. This family needs closure. Dulce. This story coming out of New Jersey. Dulce Maria Alaves. She was playing in a New Jersey park with her 3-year-old brother the day that she disappears. Her 19-year-old mother, Perez, was actually sitting in a car with her little sister, who was 8 years old, who was doing homework and scratching off lottery tickets, while the 3-year-old and young Dulce played at the Brigden City Park. It was on September 16th of 2019, and this is the last day that Dulce is seen. Around 4 p.m., an hour before she called the police, she said the kids, she let them go play on the swings and on the playground. And she continued to sit in her car, which was quite a distance from where the children were playing. The mother goes to check on the children. She finds the boy crying and no sign of Dulce. And there's several descriptions that this 3-year-old gives, but they're not really certain whether they're accurate. They believe that there was an ice cream truck. And then they say there's a man wearing strange outfit, but that was never ever determined to be anything legit. Looking for suspects during this was difficult because school had just let out and there was a lot of people walking around the park that day. Although they do have this sketch of a man that they believe is still accurate. Police say that they do have tips that they are checking out that they believe are something that might lead somewhere, but they also say there's somebody that knows something, but they're probably afraid to come forward because of immigration. And that's one thing you will not be deported for. If you know a crime and you can be helpful to a crime, you give the information, that is not going to get you deported. They're not going to go, they don't have time to deal with that. They're just worried about solving this case, bringing this child home. So if you know something, don't be afraid to go forward and say something, even if you just drop it in a letter. This mother did receive a lot of criticism, and understandably why. It's because she had two very young children at a park in the city, and she wasn't keeping a close eye on them. The mother has been under a lot of criticism, and when she called the 911 dispatcher, she appears to be upset. She is holding back tears and is telling them that she can't find her daughter. She also says on the 911 call, quote, "We were there at the park and people say that somebody took her," end quote. I want to ask you guys, if you're from the Cumberland County in New Jersey, please make sure that you share this story. Dulce was only 5 years old. She's Hispanic. She's got dark hair, brown eyes. She was last seen wearing a yellow shirt. The area in which she was playing in on September 6th of 2019 was a sprawling playground. It was a huge area, and it's roughly around 1,000 acres of land. Now, Ms. Perez says that, quote, "I'm grateful for them," referring to the investigators, "because not a lot of people are helping my family support us looking for Dulce. There's a lot of people judging me, my family, saying that we had something to do with it, but we had nothing to do with it," end quote. She says that she regrets letting her daughter leave her sight. Quote, "It gives me bad memories because when I wish I could go back to that time and come with her to the park and not leave her alone," end quote. In another breath, Noma Perez says that the community has supported her over the last year, but there have been a lot of critics still. I do want to mention that she has had a new baby since her daughter disappeared, and that she is still continuing to look for Dulce. So anybody in that area or might be involved with a search group, maybe you can help this mother out. Maybe you've seen something. And like I want to say it again, if you're afraid of immigration, don't be. Lynn Hernandez, known as Lenny. The story is coming out of Brooklyn, New York. Now, I do want to mention ahead of time that she has a bit of a background. She has some struggles, but that doesn't make her less important. So, she was last seen by her boyfriend October 4th of 2020 in Brooklyn, New York. The mother received a text message on October 10th from Lenny's boyfriend. In that text message, he claims that he heard from her last on October 4th of 2020. On September 19th of 2020, Lenny stopped by her mother's residence to visit her daughter. And that is the last confirmed sighting of Lynette by a family member anyways. Lenny has 2 tattoos, or 3 I think, actually. I think that's been updated since. One on her upper back, it's an infinity symbol with the number 24 written across that infinity. Now, I do know from speaking with her mother personally, and I feel so bad for this family, that it's been difficult to have this case investigated. One, because of her background, and two, because of the situation. Now, she is known to be in other areas such as Queens and around that area as well. So if you live in that area, make sure that you share Lynette Hernandez's story. Sarah Galloway. She's actually been found, but the circumstances in which she was found is suspicious a little bit to some of the family members. So, Sarah Galloway from Pima County in Arizona, 39 years old, had Down syndrome and was last seen March 21st, 2019 on the 10600 block of West Massengale Road. She was last seen by her adoptive mother, and she said she went in to go get a shower. Sarah was sitting on the porch, and when she come back, she was gone. Sherry called the police in the area, put on a huge search for Sarah Galloway. Though people had searched that whole entire area, they never were able to find any clues of Sarah. But on February 12th of 2020, a hiker come across the remains of a human. They found parts of a femur and alerted the Pima County Sheriff's Office. Law enforcement officials come out, did an examination, and collected the remains. And they said there was quite a morphology and degree of weathering to these remains that they found. And after a thorough examination and using some dental records as ID, they discovered that this was the missing Sarah Galloway. This was odd to several of the family members because they had searched that area and they didn't see her anywhere. Then suddenly they find, these remains. And this is another story I could do more on, but I just haven't been able to do it. Also, they're still investigating, so I never want to kind of mess up that chance of messing up an investigation. So there's a few more girls I'd like to cover, but I'm going to go ahead and call it because I'm pushed to my max. I'm tired. So, yeah. Make sure, guys, don't forget about these girls. They're still missing, and we still have no answers for these beautiful women and ladies. Somebody has a very important tip, and hopefully they will come forward and share it. I want to thank you guys for supporting this channel, and I want to mention that if you could please, I am not getting monetized on a lot of my videos. It's a lot of work and research. If you're able to and you like this channel, could you please donate to either my Patreon, which I'm not able to run that like a regular Patreon by myself, not right now anyways, or a PayPal link that I sometimes post. You can also support me, if you can't do that, by subscribing, liking, and hitting the notification bell. And sharing my video really can make a huge difference. So I want to do a shout out to some of I try to do shout outs occasionally, and sometimes I do duplicates, guys, because my memory's terrible, because I love you all, and I want to thank you all for all that you do for this channel. You guys are amazing, and I love you. Thank you, Angela Anderson, for always having positive comments. It really means a lot to me when I see people who recognize how hard I work, and I appreciate you just as much as you appreciate me. Indigo Blue, always so kind and so supportive. Thank you so much. Karen Gitlett, I didn't say it right, I apologize. I appreciate the positive energy you bring to our channel. Judy Burren, she is one of my rocks, of the many rocks here that we have on this channel. She was here, like Doreen, as some of the first support in Irish Eyes. So many of them. I've always given them shout outs, so I'm trying to do new ones. But they are always, always here, and they're just the greatest people. I appreciate them all the time. I love them to death. Rana, she's an amazing person, always leaves great comments, and I love her just as much as all of you guys. Heather Cox, thank you so much for being here. Kim 63, love you, girl. Of course, my lady D. I'm having trouble not mentioning the ones I've mentioned before, guys. I'm sorry. Lainey Roots, amazing, amazing person. That's all I can say about her. She's just got a heart of gold. Brenda Bradstick. She is also one of those people that bring that good energy in and make you feel good. A very pure soul. Jackie Goodson, thank you so much for being here. Carol Johnson, she always has something very intelligent to share. She's a very smart woman, and I love her dearly. And guys, I don't want to go too far, and there's so many of you I want to mention, and I'll try to catch the others on the next video because I'm trying to do this more often to show my appreciation and that you guys know that I do know who you are. I do read the comments. I just haven't had time to, show you that I do. Stay safe, everyone. And please keep an eye out for these girls and keep those stories out there. Hopefully we can start bringing closure to some of these cases that are still open. Love you guys. See you guys soon.